my lovely friends, welcome back to Tarot AF. So today we have another pick a card reading for you all on how they are currently feeling about you. So today we're going to look through tarot, we're going to get some oracle cards, we are going to do some channeled messages, some channeled songs, and also some love advice for you right at the end. So this is a nice packed reading. I'm super excited for this one. So we have 3 piles ready and waiting for you guys today. We have pile 1 with the Modern Witchcraft Tarot deck and the Amethyst Heart. We have pile 2 with the Orbita Tarot deck and the Rose Quartz Heart. And we have the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot and the Honey Calcite Heart for pile 3. Almost forgot what that was, but I got it. We did it. So if you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello and welcome. You can take a moment, you can pause the video, you can see which pile is drawing your eye. Trust that reading is for you. And what I do is I put the times in the box below and also in the comments section, so you can skip ahead there to your reading. If you start a reading and it doesn't feel right, and you felt drawn to another pile, you're welcome to go back and skip and see if that one does. But if there's not a pile for you today, maybe there's not a pile for you today. And that is absolutely okay. So just bear that in mind when you're picking as well, my lovely friends. So skip ahead to your reading and I'll see you there, guys. Bye. Hello, lovely friends of pile 1. So if you picked the Modern Witch Tarot deck and also the Purple Amethyst Heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's shuffle your tarot. I've got your first lot of oracle cards already pre-shuffled. We're also going to be pulling some songs and also some channeled messages today, as well as some advice right at the end for you. So I'm not sure how long these readings are going to be. So just strap in, get some snacks, that kind of thing. Also, to get the elephant out the room, I do have a plaster on. Yes, it is a frozen Olaf plaster. Yeah, it's a kitchen accident and it's luckily not affecting my shuffling too much. So let's get going, shall we? So let's see for pile 1 spirit, how is their person currently feeling about them? So we've got the 8 of Wands. How is pile 1's person currently feeling about them? So we have got the Wheel of Fortune, we have got the King of Swords. How are they currently feeling about pile 1? Okay, and I'm going to get one more. How are they currently feeling about pile 1? The Tower. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Swords, the Emperor, 4 of Swords, the Tower, and on the back of the deck, we've also got the 8 of Swords too. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have Love, we have Mystery, we have Thief, sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. We have Creativity, and we also have Make. So the first thing I'm seeing in terms of signs is we've got the King of Swords. So potentially air signs here, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. That could be you or that person. And we've also got fixed signs here as well, which have Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo as well. We've also got the Aries in Emperor. But I think how they currently feel about you, pile 1, is that I feel like intuitively, and the thing is, there's no feelings here. There's no, as in, there are feelings here. There are no cups here. There are no, like, cups being our standard for emotions within our tarot deck. There are no overwhelming, I mean, we've got the Love card here, and with Make as well, we've got those hands, almost this trying to come together and fit together. But I feel like it's almost, at the moment, I feel like they think it's in your control. A lot of this is within your control, and I feel like there may have been history here and maybe this isn't for everybody, maybe this is for a group of people, but I feel like maybe this could have been a relationship where there was something in the past, some sort of history in the past in which they potentially they were maybe deceptive in some way with this thief card, or potentially it could be vice versa, but potentially there was something that, like, there's something that could never be stolen. Maybe it was someone giving their heart freely, and that maybe not being reciprocated at the time, or potentially even rejected. And with this Four of Swords, it feels like someone went into almost a hermit mode. There was this kind of clouding of vision, this confusion, maybe even this betrayal or this heartbreak. And this person, and potentially it's you, I feel like it's more their actions towards you that maybe put you into this kind of this overbearing thought energy, where I'm really getting this clear image of when you wake up, it's like your thoughts are immediately of them, or you'll be doing a task and it returns back. And I think they know, and they feel probably quite ashamed and frustrated with themselves that they put you through that. And I think they currently feel like you are in control of whether this connection has a future or not. I feel like there's been a sudden change of the status quo, is what I'm hearing, as it were. Like, there has been this shift, this feeling that whatever happened upheaved what was growing, what was being made, what the connection that was growing, and it's plunged it into this kind of mystery. And when this mystery card fell out, it reminds me of this High Priestess, but I was hearing Mysterious Girl, the Peter Andre song, through my head, and I feel like there's that kind of element of not knowing your thoughts, not knowing where you are, and therefore not knowing how you feel. So they have been thrown into this feeling where they don't really know where to turn. Like, their thoughts have become almost a prison for them. Like, maybe it's like these ebbs and flows with this Wheel of Fortune. Like, they feel these things, but they feel like they can't justify why they feel these things, because they ultimately know that they were the ones that potentially threw this connection away, or did something to jeopardize this connection for some people. And actually, it's almost like they need to keep shedding light on the fact that, and keep drawing back to the fact that they were the ones. I just feel like there's so much guilt within this pile, and whether that's guilt from yourself or from them, it feels like things are all up in the air at the moment with that Wheel of Fortune, that things are just spinning, spiraling, potentially even out of control. And maybe it's happening at such a fast rate, or maybe the feelings are overwhelming, or maybe it was a really quick meeting and a quick kind of time together that almost felt fleeting, and now it's like everything's been left into the ether. It doesn't feel like there's any solid grounding, and it almost feels like it's too late, is what I'm hearing. Like, maybe someone feels like it's too late, maybe it's this person, or they're just, whatever foundation was potentially there. I'm hearing like Foundations, Kate Nash in my head as well, like clawing onto the foundations. It feels like most of which has been upheaved, and whether that was like a psychological upheaval of one person going through this mental upheave, or whether it was something that came through and separated, and because the Tower can be like a psychological upheaval or a kind of divine intervention, as it were, with that lightning coming through. But either way, it feels like the walls kind of came tumbling down, and I feel like there is a lot of respect here, and I think there is. And maybe they're trying to be quite creative with how they can almost come about and approach you potentially. Maybe they feel like there's still that shot there, and maybe they're trying to make amends, or trying to show you in small ways. But it feels like maybe at the moment there's not that door open. It feels like it's still on an ellipsis. It's still on that ... feeling of, is there something here? Is there not? And I think there's patience from them. And I think ultimately, I mean, you know how you feel about this situation, or maybe your head feels like such a fog that you have no idea anymore. Maybe it's like you are in this spiral too, just as much, and maybe it feels like you align at one point. It feels like you just keep missing each other in some ways, but they do. It feels like maybe that's for you, that you don't feel like you've got the full perspective over things, or you still feel that they've stolen something from you in that way, and maybe it's even just stealing your thoughts. But with that King of Swords, they definitely feel that you are above the situation, or you feel like you've gained a different perspective, even if you don't feel that yourself. Like maybe they think that you have this freedom of thought and that you're not even thinking about them anymore. And maybe you're much more in this action of I'm creating other things. And maybe they feel caught up in the cycle of I haven't moved on yet. And like I said, this is obviously their energy. This is their feelings. So this may not be justified within your feelings or actions or your thoughts. But I also feel like I've just seen these bangles on this hand here. And it feels like every single time they make a movement, it's like they're being watched. Like these bangles are jangling around. And I think it's like that. I'm hearing love is loud. Like, and it's not an expression that I've particularly come across before or anything, or I've heard spirit use in this way. But I feel like there's obviously these teardrops here. I think there's a lot of pain and there's a lot of grief at the moment, and I think their emotions are screaming at them in a lot of ways. I think their thoughts and their words and how they're going about it, that's causing a lot of pain and affliction for them, in this kind of almost like any moment the thing's going to drop. But I think they're trying to fill themselves up with that love at the same time, and they keep returning to it, which is almost even more painful and even more of an affliction of their thoughts. And obviously we've got the shadow attributes of the thief, which is like stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. And we've got the creativity right next to it. So maybe it's like they even... Oh gosh, I just had, maybe it's like they even stole what the concept of love. Like, they didn't almost even just shatter your heart. They may have even like damaged the way that you view it, or opening your heart up again. And because I feel like you have this really sharp and perceptive mind, and that's how they feel about you, being able to see other angles and judge things probably very fairly as well, and have that kind of sword of justice and that truth to say what it is that you feel. And maybe at the moment, because you're potentially, because you've said exactly what it is, it almost feels like a knife to them, because they know it's true. They know that you're being truthful. And actually, maybe you've put it in a way where you've called them out almost on exactly what they've done. You've shed a light on it, and how there's not two ways to look at it with this creativity, that they've really hurt you. It is how I feel that this has been. And in their mind, it's such an insurmountable situation that they're not going to get through. Like, they can't see a way forward clearly. And I feel like they're just trying to gain some control with this Emperor. Maybe they're trying to push through make a new connection. Maybe they're trying to reach out. Maybe they're like writing notes, or texting you a lot, or just thinking about you in day-to-day life and trying to make connection. But maybe it's a hit and miss on whether they'll get a reply, or whether it's even something that you want. And they know that this change has come about for a reason, and the only thing they can do is to react to it. But it's almost like no action is a form of action. And at the moment, I feel like they almost push too fast. They almost zoom in and don't get anything, and then they're knocked backwards, and then they don't act. And I feel like it's this double-edged sword, that they want to try, but they don't know whether they should try or they can try. And I think they're trying to see the lead from you, but they're not getting anything. Or they know that they don't. I feel like there's those feelings of unworthiness of being forgiven in some way. And I keep going back to this love is loud, this card here, because obviously, like I said, there's not those cups within the tarot, but there's obviously this love oracle card. And I just do think this is the capacity and the empathy that you have. And I think with this King of Swords, like I said, a very sharp, perceptive mind, that you have the ability to rise above situations. And I feel like you don't let a lot of people close, potentially. That your group is tight-knit. And for you to give your heart is a massive, massive thing. And I think if they stole that, or they almost abused that power of having such a, I think anyone giving their heart, it's such a responsibility in how you look after someone after they have as well. And I think they almost know that you're unfolding without them. And there's that beautiful quote of, if you love something, you will nurture it and you will grow it further. But some people will just pluck a flower, and there's almost the difference between kind of want of something, or something for a while, and something that you're willing to nurture and you grow. And I think they've realized that they should have nurtured and grown you a bit more than potentially just plucking you. And that's almost where I feel like that thief has come in. So I want to get some channeled messages as well for you guys, to gain some more light on this. I'm not going to try and shuffle these, because most of my attempts at shuffling them doesn't always go well. So I'm just going to split them a couple of times and see where we land. I didn't mean to mess you around. And obviously, like I said, these are their thoughts. You may not want to forgive this person, and that is absolutely fine. You may not be ready. You may want to in the future, but you're not ready at this moment in time. These are obviously just their thoughts based off the situation. I'm trying to get clarity about this connection. And I do think this insurmountable situation for them in this Eight of Swords, them thinking that it's massive, and actually I feel like if they were more truthful and open and honest about how they were thinking, and I think their thoughts are clouding this so much that they're not even allowing their feelings to be expressed. Like, they can't even gain their own guidance, their own internal guidance, because their thoughts are screaming at them at the moment. And whether that's, you know, their internal dialogue saying you don't deserve to have this connection because you screwed it up, or whatever it is. I feel, yeah, it's just that loud. Love is loud. Like, I think their love is that. And there's that I want to start over. And I love the conversations we share. So potentially maybe you're even still talking to this person. Maybe you have to see them in a friendship way. Maybe you're in the same group or something. That may not be for everyone. Or maybe it was the conversations that you share, and maybe it's almost those conversations still go about in their head. But that I want to start over. I think they know that the foundations, like I said, the things, those cracks, that they're there. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they're not even aware of how deep those cracks may have been and how much trust they've abused, is what I'm hearing. Obviously, this may not be for everybody, this level that we're going into, but I've got to say what I'm hearing. And I think with this I want to start over, there's, like I said, there's that stop-start action. It's like they go so far, or maybe they're making moves and making actions without actually thinking about what it is that you want. It's almost like an emotional dump is how I'm seeing it. Is like they write these texts, they write these letters, or they put a boom speaker up against your house or whatever, or they knock on your door without actually thinking about how you're feeling. Maybe there's those moves, and they're not actually thinking, oh, maybe this person needs space. Maybe pile one doesn't want to speak to me at this moment in time because they're sorting through their stuff. But I think because they just think in their mind that you're doing better than them. And obviously, like I said, this is their thoughts. You may not be in that space. You may be completely like over it and like, I don't want to think about this situation anymore. Or maybe there is that longing there, but you know that you need time. And also, if they haven't changed, that's a really difficult thing for you to grant, is that access back if they didn't look after your heart last time. We've also got, I don't want to give up my independence. Okay, well, I mean, I think any relationship where you're losing your independence anyway, I think that thief card is almost coming into more clarity in the fact that you're still independent people, whether you're in this relationship or not. Obviously, you know, with monogamy, if this is a monogamous connection and stuff, you know, you do commit, you do align yourself with that person, but you are still independent for your own happiness, for your own path and your own choices and your own life. So this, I don't want to give up my independence. And I know it's in my handwriting, and the spirit's like, yeah, but you wrote the card. And I'm like, well, I wrote it because you told me to. And that's a relationship there. You know, I don't want to give up my independence. You shouldn't have to give up your independence in a relationship. You are still your own person. You choose to align with somebody, and you walk your path, they walk their path. You do different things. You do different things with your day. You don't have to be codependent on each other 24 hours a day. So this, I don't want to give up my independence. It's almost like they don't understand what a relationship almost is, or that you're supposed to be teammates and nurture each other, support each other in a partnership. And I feel like there's almost this battle within them, because they're almost calling out their own bull. as it were, like, or spirit is, or their intuition is. It's like they are thinking these things, they're doing these actions, all of that. And actually that little niggle saying, you know, well, you're not getting it. You're not getting it yet, or you're not seeing their side of it. Like, that's, you're not thinking clearly is really what I'm getting. And I want to get you guys some more songs as well. But yeah, that I don't want to give up my independence. Like, I'm sorry, it's made me a little bit frustrated with this person. And and this is the thing, it's your relationship, you know the extent of what's happened, what's been said, what's been done. But I just don't think I don't think they're hearing you is what I'm hearing, is that they're not like, they're trying to get all this clarity, or they think that they need this time and this space to sort through things, but they're not actually asking you how you're feeling about it. And it's like, that's not a partnership. You can be boldly different and stand apart and have your own independence and be drastically different and come together, and, you know, opposites attract, that saying, you know, you can have that. That's fine. And maybe they're like, oh yeah, but we're so different, we've got different things going on and all of this. But, you know, life is full of challenges and almost and obstacles, and all of those thoughts and those conversations, they can help you on your path to love. They can make you grow stronger by seeing different perspectives, by being around different energy. And yeah, I don't know. We've got This Ain't a Love Song, Scouting for Girls. So with obviously this ain't a love song, this is goodbye. Like, maybe this is your kind of attitude to it, or again, maybe these are their feelings of, you're not singing the same song from the hymn book. I think you're in a different place to them, or certainly they feel that you're in a different place to them. But again, there's that almost, don't you forget about me, simple minds. I think they do feel forgotten. And maybe this is where this I don't want to give my independence up thing, maybe they feel like almost a bit of a child in their emotions in some way, that they're still in this like grieving period. Or maybe it's only just hit them, especially if it was their actions. Maybe they do feel forgotten, they do feel lonely. We've got Don't You Want Me, the Human League as well. Maybe they even feel like you've stolen their heart at this point and have almost turned it over to you in some way. And Let's Get Loud, Jennifer Lopez. Love is loud. I said that earlier. Those like bangles again. Obviously that one's very different in the context of everything else, but it can be the song, it can be the artist, it can be the lyrics that hit. But I think with that Let's Get Loud, I feel like it's almost like, I want this clean slate. I want to just like let loose, like cut the cords of what's happened. But if those foundations have got those cracks in, then it's quite difficult to be able to do that. And I think there is a lot of like inner child stuff going on for them, that they may have been brash, they may have been, I think they've been impulsive is what I want to say, that they've acted before they've thought, potentially, and created maybe this rupture. And now it's like they're trying to bury it. And with this independence, it's just screaming out. And I know it's how I've placed them as well, but it's just there, this independence. And I feel like they ultimately don't want to give up that. They don't want to give up their ability to be free. But the problem is with that is if they're doing this head wrecking in this way of being like, but don't you want me, this like song and dance, it's like a tango which isn't going anywhere, and there's all this tension and these movements, sudden movements, and it's all full of passion and blah. But at the end of the day, if you're not looking at each other and you're not connecting and you're not being truthful and honest, then it is like you're just dancing on your own. Because with that tango, there's like sudden sharp head movements, and you know, there's all these intense longing looks, and then it's like changing direction, switching courses, not looking at each other. And that's literally the dance that I feel like you are both doing. It's that circle, that wheel of fortune, this cycle, this pattern which feels like it keeps on going on. And maybe you're sick of playing this dance, maybe you're sick of playing this record, and maybe Spirit's even calling for you to be independent, potentially, for a time of this person and rediscover that love for yourself. And I want to get you some of these Power of Love cards as well. But I feel like if you haven't already, the truth and the honesty and the authenticity that you have will help bring that out in them. But yeah, I feel like there's just this kind of childish undertones here with this don't you forget about me and this don't you want me, which it's almost like they're just making excuses. I don't want to mess you around. Responsibility. Are they having responsibility for their actions? Are they taking responsibility for where they've been? Obviously, these cards are for you, but it may just be a kind of mirror to yourself of don't act in the way that they've been acting. You know, you be sensible with your heart. And these are lessons, harsh lessons, hard lessons to learn for the next step of your journey of when receiving other people's energy. Okay. So first we have responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. And I think this is the thing. You can only be held accountable and you are responsible for your own thoughts and actions and feelings. And you have to be responsible for those things and look after yourself at this moment in time. But also know that your thoughts and your feelings have such tremendous power, and your thoughts have so much power. So by switching this into of, you know, this is an opportunity to adapt, to change, to learn, to grow. And hopefully this person will do that too, but you're not responsible for them learning those lessons or for them expressing their thoughts or expressing their love. People have to do that on their and be honest and open on their own terms. And they have to be truthful with themselves when saying those things. So all you can do is take that responsibility and that's where that independence comes in. You are responsible for how you feel and your happiness and for your thoughts, your actions and your words. You have that free will. So don't take on the burden of their guilt or take on, you know, it's a relationship. There's two sides to each story. There's things that one person could have done and the other person could have done, but you're not responsible for the whole thing. Takes two to tango. We also have willingness. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. Okay. I think there's a willingness to grow and learn here. And there's this willingness to, and the compromise words, obviously you have to compromise in relationships. Some things you do need to do that. But there should be give and take. And there's not a willingness to sweep everything under the rug. That's not what this is about. And compromising all your values and your core beliefs. Those are things that you just don't compromise on. It's the small things that you can. But not the massive things that tread on your values or make you feel small. And just remember that if that end result is love, then you shouldn't need to compromise on those, on your values and on the boundaries that you create for yourselves. If you've given them the benefit of the doubt 1, 2, 3, 4, however many times, and they keep they keep ignoring you, keep trampling over what it is that you're trying to say, they don't understand, there comes a point where they're not respecting you, they're not respecting your boundaries, and they have to have a willingness to listen. And again, you know, they can change their behavior, you can change your behavior on those things, but there needs to be a willingness to do that, as long as it's in line with theirs, and you know, yours. And then we've got trust. You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. And I think you need to trust the actions that you've taken. If you are the one to end this, or the one to say, no, I can't do this anymore, or it came to a conclusion for some reason, and actually maybe you even felt relief, or maybe now you've come round to the fact that it's okay, or maybe it still hurts and it's painful, but you can see where it's come from, and your intuition is telling you that this is the right thing. Or, you know, have faith in the choices that you took at that moment in time. Don't feel like, again, you have to take on the burden of other people and what they are thinking and feeling. You're responsible for your feelings and also your gut instinct. If you felt like something wasn't right, it probably wasn't right. That doesn't mean that things don't change and people can't show us a different hand and show us how they're feeling and being truthful and honest, but trust yourself, trust what your intuition is calling you to do in this situation. And also with that soul's loving voice. And obviously we've got this responsibility of the amount of love you express. If you feel like you are overpowered by their needs and their wants and you're losing yourself, that's where you need to filter out, and you need to not draw as much energy towards this situation and draw it into your center. Draw it back towards you and say that actually I need to do this time, this loving for myself, this building of my foundation, and this building of almost this kind of, it's not even a wall, it's just setting up in front of you your boundaries, energy that you will and won't accept from people. And this can be every single relationship in your life, not even just this person, but you've got to trust that those things that you're not willing to compromise on, you've got to trust that they're there for a reason, and your soul has put them in place, that you have put them in place for a good purpose because of what you've learned in the past, but also just things that, like, your values, that they're you, they're a part of you, and you can't lose yourself. You can't lose yourself to any connection and relationship. And of course there's going to be things that come and trip us up, or you know, obstacles that come up, or those bear traps, as it were, on the road, on the path to love. But if you trust yourself that you've got those things in place, that you love yourself and you'll listen to yourself every step of the journey, and you are aligning to that thing that you want, to that end result of love, then you're not gonna make a misstep or a mistake. You know, you're going to get there, even if you have to go around the houses a bit. But you have to take responsibility almost for yourself, and you need to let this person take responsibility for themselves. They have got to change their behavior. If, you know, and someone maybe someone else is willing to put up with potentially what they did, and that kind of thing, and that's fine. But whatever it is that you weren't willing to put yourself through, or you said no to and you wanted to stop, trust that you did that for a reason, and your boundaries are different than everybody else's because they're yours, because you've put them in place, and no one should make you feel guilty for those things. So my glorious friends of pile 1, even if they are feeling this guilt, even if they are saying that they want a new start and all of these things, which are all beautiful things to hear, and they do bring you comfort, especially if you're hurting, just pause and don't allow your thoughts to be clouded. Pause, remember how you got to this moment in time, and read the energy. Remember, words, thoughts can all lie. Energy doesn't. If the energy feels different, or if the energy feels like it's off, trust it. Trust what comes up for you, and trust your internal guidance. Listen to your feelings and your thoughts about the situation first. Don't get crowded by anybody else's. You don't need to take on anybody else's guilt. Of course, if there's things that you need to take responsibility for, take responsibility for them. Learn from it, grow, change your behavior. You can't change the past. All you can do is accept it and learn from it. And you need to hope that this person would do the same for themselves, but you are not responsible for making them do those things. You have that sense of independence of the things that you need to make, you need to do for yourself. And these are beautiful learning curves, if anything. And it will come to a point with that hindsight that this was a massive change potentially for you. And maybe within this relationship, maybe this is a turning point. But it takes both people to do that work in order to dance a different dance. We were talking about tangos earlier. It's like Strictly Come Dancing. If next week you're supposed to be doing a waltz, you have to learn different steps. You have to navigate yourself differently around that person. But, you know, there's still that end goal in sight of what it is. And maybe this is the person. Maybe you want to move away from this situation. But trust yourself first and foremost, pile one. So my glorious friends, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I hope it resonated with you. I really hope it helped as well. I'm sending so much love. If you'd love to see me again, I'd love to see you there too. Please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, all the best, my glorious friends. Bye. Hello, my lovely friends of Pile 2. So if you picked the Orbita Tarot deck and the Rose Quartz Heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's shuffle your tarot cards. I've already shuffled your first set of oracles. We are going to also be pulling some channeled messages and also some channeled songs, because I feel like I haven't done that in a hot minute. So I am super excited for this. I'm not sure how long this is going to run, so if you want to grab some snacks, feel free, get relaxed, and we are going to look at how this person is currently feeling about you, pile 2. So, Spirit, how is this person currently feeling about pile 2? How are they currently feeling about pile 2? Okay, we have got the Death card, we have got the Star, we have got the Knight of Pentacles. How are they currently feeling about pile 2? We have got the Three of Swords. We have got the Five of Wands, and we've also got the Queen of Cups. Okay, lovely. And then on the back of the deck, we have also got the Hermit there too. Awesome. Okay, and in terms of oracle cards, we have got Light, we've got Confidence, we have Rescuer, provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation for reward. And I love the little heart life ring as well there too. We've got Flow, and we've also got Fear. So in terms of signs, I've got the Queen of Cups here. So Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. We've got water signs or placements. And we've also got the Knight of Pentacles here too. Virgo, Capricorn and Taurus. We've got Scorpio in Death as well. And the Hermit. We've got Virgo heavily as too. So you know, we've got quite a lot of earth and water placements, it seems, maybe within your chart or within their chart. But how they currently feel about you, pile 2. So I think they think you're the bomb. They feel and think that you are this, I think, real life rescuer, this almost angel sent to them in some sense, or especially this potentially gift from the universe or gift from angels, or, you know, they may not have any kind of spiritual belief, this person potentially, but they just feel like I think they always feel overwhelmed with how lucky they feel that they have your energy and your presence within their life. That you can be such a caring and nurturing and open person that really is in their team, like is standing behind them, with them steadfast, even through their darkest periods, or especially after a period where they were plunged into real darkness. And I don't feel like they had any confidence, and they couldn't almost see the light, and you were almost this beacon to them. It's really like that. They were like barely in this lifeboat, like just going by, and there's almost this voice or this like star that appears to them. And I mean, yeah, I mean that sounds like just a film, doesn't it? But this is really, but I think that's almost how they feel, like this, maybe that this, they didn't think that this would happen for them, or maybe they'd almost given up hope, given into the fear. And I feel like that's where they were almost living in this fear mentality, like expecting the worst out of situations, expecting the worst out of people potentially. Maybe they'd been let down, maybe they'd been betrayed, potentially they'd even suffered immense amounts of heartbreak with this 3 of Swords. Like, they just felt broken. They just felt like they didn't know where to turn. And I think maybe there was even this thing of they were so used to other people's thoughts, opinions weighing down on them, like the weight of expectation is what I'm hearing. I mean, also hearing surface pressure from Encanto, which is obviously just going mad on my TikTok anyway, but I'm hearing that too, like this drip, 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 like everything was just, it was like just the dregs being left out of them. And I think I think they were in hermit mode as well. I think this person was like, I am doner than done with love. I don't want to approach it. I don't want to think about it. They may have been like, I'm gonna abstain from it. I don't want to let my heart get pierced and hurt this much. And I think their thoughts were just in this mentality of, if I don't give it away, I can't be hurt. If I hold myself together and I rely on myself and I don't give anything away, and I just repress the emotions and I just move forward and think about myself, then I won't get hurt by anybody. I really feel like they were in that space. And I think they were in that hermit mode where they didn't want to see people, they didn't want to go out, they didn't want to talk to people. But I think the change really hit them. And I think you were the change that they needed, the personality to come into their life of, I feel like there's positive affirmations here, whether you say them or maybe you affirm to them. And I think you were just this star, this hope, this, like in the depths of their soul, even if all this fear was and this anxiety was building up for them, they still had that hope, that little bit that they would align to where it is that they wanted to go if they moved slowly but surely. And I think you came in this reassuring voice, and almost put the focus completely on them. And they were able to listen to themselves, listen to their own guidance, and have faith and trust in themselves, but also in other people. Like that hope is renewed in humanity in like a grand sense, that they realized that they didn't need to close the door to love, that actually they needed to find strength within themselves to move forward. And I think you are this support, this rescuer here, almost when they were in these stormy seas, this feeling of turmoil and not being able to find which way is which. Like, you were that calm after that storm, and you didn't expect anything from them. You just expected them to be who they were, and to be truthful and honest, yes, but to be open to something different. And I don't think you didn't look at their scars as or their past as something to take pity on, or that defined them. I think you were much more in that mentality of you are where you're going. And I think you're a natural, nurturing and caring person. Maybe you even put people's needs before your own, but and potentially sometimes that lands you in a bit of trouble, but I think with this Queen of Cups energy, you were just able to be not only potentially a lover in a romantic sense if you are together in that connection, but also I'm hearing friend, like a family nurturer, like any role that they needed, whether they needed a friend, whether they needed that security, you just knew exactly what it is, and you just gave them confidence in themselves, confidence in the idea of opening up to love, and your light almost flooded in. It's like this beacon, and their beacon may have felt like it was flickering, that they weren't really sure, like I said, that maybe they were in darkness in some way, or maybe they were even resisting this light at the beginning because they were in this kind of survival mode, this surviving mentality, that when this light came in, they maybe didn't know how to react to it at first, but they were able to see with hindsight that wasn't the end, and in the way that they maybe thought that it was, that actually there is that hope, there is that renewal, and new things do come about, and that this is almost the new dawn, their new way of thinking about love and about people. And I think you give them tremendous amount of strength. I feel like you are this beacon for them, this light, and you know, light and love is something that fear can't win against. And I think that's what you gave them, was you're able to almost give them clarity and shine that light, but also help be their guidance and give them something to almost work for, like to reignite their passion again, to go after things slowly and methodically. Like, things aren't going to happen just overnight. You have to nurture it. You have to nurture yourself and believe in yourself, believe that you're going to grow and you're going to move onwards and upwards, as it were. And instead of drawing your attention into external things, you focused it back in. And I think this person showed you that, as in you showed this person that, sorry. You are the person, you're the one doing all of this for them. And I think maybe they've also done this for you, so maybe it feels like a kind of mirrored, shared experience, potentially. Maybe you feel like you've saved one another, but this person certainly feels that they've been able to grow stronger with almost the foundation and the nurturing that you've helped provide them. And I feel like there's that flow there, that give and take. And maybe I feel like there's this give and take within the relationship, that both of you are able to aid, and there's this transference of healthy energy, and you both help light each other up. And almost I heard like you're each other's cheerleaders through everything. And I think especially when they almost go into hermit mode, maybe when they go a bit quiet or something gets on top of them, an obstacle, they're able to mitigate it a lot easier. And they're able to expel the fear because they know that they've got someone like you on their side, on their team beside them. And I think you're the rescuer that just keeps rescuing is really what I'm hearing, that you just love fiercely. And I think you've got such a big capacity, such a grand capacity for love. And I think that helps them open up their heart and open up to where they want to be. And I think they can see they've got that goal, they can direct that. And with direct where it is that they want to go in that energy now, like they can put their finger on it. They understand it a bit more because you are that. And with that Knight of Pentacles as well, I feel like there's this goal, there's this desire for them, which maybe they lost hope in, potentially, like something, maybe that's even just a commitment, like a relationship, maybe that's buying a house, maybe that's getting a new job, maybe whatever goal it's manifesting through or maybe it's just the life that they've always wanted that they lost hope in, even if that's just having a family or whatever. I feel like, or just like, you know, a loving partnership, whatever it was, that thing, I feel like they found that ability to go, no, actually I can have that. And this person has showed me that this is just a new beginning. This is me opening up into something new, and I can't allow the fear to this false evidence appearing real to get to me. Like I almost need to break free from that, and I feel like they have with you behind, and there's that new destination with where they want to leap. And I think with that hermit mode, they've almost reconnected with their own light, with spirit in their own way. And maybe that's through you fiercely doing that yourself, or having that gut intuition and seeing feelingly. I think that's how they feel, that you navigate the world almost. Do you know that New Girl scene where Schmidt is like, do you go around all day like thinking about how other people feel? And she's like, Jess is like, yeah, I mean, it's exhausting. Like it's something along that. Sorry, that's like very loosely quoted there, like not even. But it's that thing of, I think you feel so much, and maybe you're an empath, maybe you take on other people's emotions, and you know, that is something where you have to really navigate that for yourself and really have a deep understanding of your emotions and your emotional needs as well. But in order to help others and support others, that's a massive, massive feat, to be as full in yourself in order to extend that outwards. And I think just the way that you love is something that inspires them. So I want to get some channeled messages as well for you guys. I'm not going to shuffle these because every time I seem to shuffle them, it doesn't always go well. So I'm just going to flick through and pick one out. Unconditional love. Okay, I love that. I feel like, obviously, maybe you've not exchanged, you know, love with this person in that way, you know, and maybe it's a friendship which is flourishing and growing in some way. And I think there is just this, even if it's unsaid, those feelings are there, that love is there, because I think you've helped them more than I think they could even say to you, in so many ways, that your friendship above else has brought them to the place that they are in now. Like everything that you've done for them. I love the conversations we share. So I think they're just empowering. I think there's so much laughter is what I'm feeling between you both. I don't know if I'm ready to be in a relationship. So this may not be for everyone if you are in a relationship with this person. So maybe there's still things in their head, that fear that they need to navigate. But I don't think that doesn't push away from the fact of these feelings, of these feelings of support and friendship and nourishment that you're able to give each other, and how much you've done. So like I said, that may not be for everyone. I think you're my one, and you know, no one makes you whole. You're not, you know, you're not halves and come together and you're finally complete. That's just not how life works. But I think you're my one is almost that. I think you're my one at this moment in time that I would love to walk through life with, supporting each other and holding each other's hands through things. And that's so beautiful. I have so many things that I would like to say to you. So this may be for, you know, this these feelings, if they've not been expressed in that way, or maybe they have said it as like a friend, or maybe they've said it as more, or maybe there's those like looks and those unsaid things, and maybe it's because it's so raw and it's so honest and it's so pure that it's hard to have those conversations. It's hard to be that authentic. And maybe as well, if they've had that heartbreak in the past, it's hard to open yourself up again. And people have got to do that in their own time. They've got to feel, but I ultimately feel, I was going to say they need to feel safe and secure, but I think all those ingredients are there. All that safety that you provide, that nurturing. And you've just got to make sure, and Spirit is really highlighting this to me, that you are filling yourself up as well, that you are looking after yourself, and that you are as well getting this give and take in this relationship and in all of your relationships, but that you are doing the things that you need to do and making sure before you extend your help to others and your love to others that you still have that for yourself. I know you already know this, pile 2. I feel that you do, but it was just a reminder from Spirit, and just to never compromise on those things. But that I have so many things that I'd like to say to you. Maybe it's even revealing about their past. Maybe it's saying the way that you are. Maybe the way that they were. Maybe it's opening up about that, or maybe it's just expressing how much you've done, because it can be really difficult to put that into words when it's feelings that you've helped them through, and that can be hard to express. I also want to get some channel songs as well for you guys, so those 2 from my massive song bag. Okay, well, this is more than I was anticipating. I Want You Back, In Sync. So maybe there's some distance at the moment, but then we've got In Sync. So maybe you are quite in sync and, you know, are able to intuitively pick up on each other. There's that flow that is being reminded to me. But I Want You Back, that could just be like, I want you back here now. Like, I want to see you soon, that kind of thing. We've also got You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, Sylvester. I love this song, such a boogie. But I think it's that, like, you make me feel. And if you felt numb, if they felt that heartbreak and that pain, and this was almost like that dam breaking, that wall around them, like, breaking down, like, you making them feel again, like... Wow, I mean, yeah. Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Elton John. Again, maybe there's even a friendship that was here before. I'm thinking like Nala and Simba in Lion King, and, you know, them coming together years and years after. So maybe there's always been this friendship here, but maybe it's developing into love, or potentially it's even just, can you feel it too? Maybe they're not sure because if it's in this, I don't know if I'm ready for relationship stage, or they don't know how you feel potentially about things. Yeah, maybe there's that kind of, oh, do you actually want this as well? Maybe there's that awareness of, I feel these things, but does this person feel these things too? Or maybe if you guys are together, it's just this, you know, this feeling that, you know, yeah, so full, and like, can you feel it? Because I feel it. We've got Beat Again, JLS, and obviously this is all about like, my heart won't beat again. And maybe there was this, I feel like you've all like restarted their heart. Is that something? Yeah, that's something I can say. That's medical. But you know, it's like this heart skipping a beat again, and this feeling of being in these emotions which maybe you haven't tapped into for a while, or maybe you lost access to. And I feel like that's what this person feels, and maybe you feel that too if you've been through similar things. Like I said, it could be mirror. And we've got Let's Dance, David Bowie. So yeah, I mean, let's dance through life, let's do all those things, let's have that fun and that playfulness. Let's get going. I'm almost hearing like what are we waiting for in some ways? But like I said, this may not be for everyone, some of these songs, because I think they may lend themselves to specific situations. So take what resonates with them and leave what doesn't. You know, you may be in a relationship with this person already, or maybe you've never expressed feelings, maybe vice versa. But obviously these are their feelings. So if you don't feel this too, maybe you get a sense that they might feel this, but if you don't reciprocate, then, you know, that's absolutely fine. You've got to be in tune with yourself and what it is that you want. Maybe you just want to remain friends with this person. But yeah, there's definitely those strong things here. So let's have a look, see. These are going to be advice cards for you. Okay, so we've got harmony. You are able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. And I think this is the connection with yourself as well, that harmony within yourself in order to extend that out through others, but also that peace, especially after storms. And maybe if this is mirrored, maybe if you went through something similar and you helped them out of theirs, or maybe they've even helped you out of yours, like and like. I feel like there's this balance, and we always have, you know, every single relationship we have with someone, there's different connections, there's different levels of connection, and you can feel peace and harmony with where exactly you are at this moment in time. And also with balanced connection, it's that give and take to ensure that, because I feel like there is this overwhelming feeling that you have given so much to help this person, maybe more than you know, and maybe that's just in your nature, but make sure that you are receiving the same in return. It doesn't have to look exactly the same, but the same energy and the same feelings coming back at you. We've got release. You have the ability to give over unwanted energies to the loving forces of the universe. And we've also got detachment. You are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. So with this release and detachment, I feel like, and I'm really sorry if this does not feel like it resonates with you, but I feel like this is very much a mirror situation where maybe you went through something very similar, or they did, and maybe this is your first opening up to this feeling of love and harmony and this connection again. Maybe this is your kind of window back into it too. And maybe this is spirit saying that just as this person is releasing those unwanted energies, that fear, that pain, that struggle, that heartbreak, that maybe you're ready to detach from and release those things and those old patterns, those old cycles of patterns, those stories that we tell ourselves of who we are and what we are deserving of. You have the ability to rewrite those stories that no longer serve those ideals. You know, I've said before on readings, so maybe you've never heard it, but I was very much in that Taylor Swift like love You Belong With Me video for most of my childhood, most of my teenage years. That was my feelings on a loop of the story of I'm not going to be wanted, I'm in this unrequited love story. And you had to release that. I had to release that. I had to realize that I was not in that doesn't serve me on my journey towards love. And I need to release the unwanted energies of how I felt in those situations and realize that I'm worthy of more than that. I'm worthy of that communication, that honesty, and for it to be as simple as it can be, because it should be. If it's you know, you should be able to have those feelings of confidence and that feeling of flow, that give and take in relationships. And you know, these mind games and all of those things it doesn't fill you with joy, it doesn't fill you with happiness, and it doesn't feel like it aligns to love a lot of the time. Doesn't mean it can't develop for everyone, but for me it didn't work, and that was something that I had to rewrite for myself. But I had to believe at first that I was capable of detaching from that story, from that old pattern. And I think Spirit is saying this is in a different way for you, but with that Three of Swords, that pain from the past, you can't change the past. And I think you are on this journey to acceptance of it. And this is your time to really release the unwanted energy, and know that you're never going to forget what's happened, but you don't let it rule you moving forward. You're able to see that it doesn't serve you anymore, and you can leave it by the wayside. You can allow it not to control you and control how you think now moving forwards. And you are better informed, and you can trust in the harmony that you feel and the connection that is in front of you, instead of guessing and whatever it is, whatever old pattern that is that you're wanting to rewrite. So, and this You Make Me Feel Mighty Real is sticking out as well. So I think trust your feelings, trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust how you feel, see feelingly forward, because this person feels that you do, and that's exactly how you should. You're heart-centered, and I can tell that, pile too. And it can be hard giving your heart to other people, and you've got to trust that person, but you've got to take your own time, and that comes with dispelling the fear and the anxiety by allowing love to flood in where you can, and especially the love of yourself, the love that you will rise up out of things that you no longer need, and release that tension or that unwanted energy in towards that new harmony that you deserve, that peace, that love. So my glorious friends of pile 2, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I've loved reading your cards today. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys in the future. Until next time, sending all the love. I really hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hi, lovely friends of pile 3. So if you picked the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot deck and the Honey Calcite Heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's shuffle your tarot. I've already shuffled your first set of oracle cards. We will also be pulling some channeled messages and also some channeled songs as well for you guys today. So I'm super excited for this reading, so I've not done that in a while, but it also may be slightly longer as well, so please do bear that in mind. Grab snacks, the exit card there and there. So also elephant in the room. Yes, I have an Olaf sticker on my finger. I'm feeling fine, just a kitchen incident, but it's not compromising my shuffling, which is good. So let's get straight into it. So Spirit, how does this person currently feel about pile 3? So we have got the Warrior of Cups, we have got the Spirit of Cups, we have also got the Three of Cups. How does this person currently feel about pile 3? So we've also got the Nymph. Oh, okay, I'm going to put those back and go again. This one was just jumping back out again as I was shuffling it back in, so I'm going to take that one, that 7 of Wands 2. Just as I was putting it in, it just kind of escaped my finger, so I'm going to give it that. And then we've got the 3 of Wands here, and we've also got the 7 of Swords on the back of the deck, which is super interesting. What do we have underneath it? Introspection, so the Hermit as well. Okay. And in terms of oracle cards, we have got communication, we have got sadness, we have got destroyer, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. We have got stop, and we've also got childhood there as well. So in terms of signs, we have got a lot of water. We've got the Warrior, we've got the Spirit, and we've got the Nymph as well. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, potentially that those are signs within your chart or this person's chart. We've also got a lot of Wands energy here as well, so Leo, Sagittarius or Aries. But with this destroyer as well, I think fire energy, but also there's an eruption of earth, so potentially earth placements, but I feel like heavily water. So maybe in your chart and also their chart, it could be predominant, but if it's not, do not worry, just discard that if the energy feels right, because this is what it's all about, is the energy. So I feel like for this person, this is such an interesting mix here, because I want to talk about this Seven of Swords first. So I don't know whether it was in your own relationship, like your relationship, this connection with this person, but I feel like there was this secret, or maybe some deception of some kind, or this feeling that someone wasn't giving the full picture. Maybe it's the extent of feelings that were going on, or I feel like someone was plunged into this hermit mode because of this. And whether that's because it was the person that was holding the secret, or not saying their truth, or whatever it was, or maybe the person that stole thought energy, was plunged into this, or maybe both people were plunged into this kind of hermit mode where they didn't connect. Maybe there was a lack of communication, maybe communication stopped, and maybe that plunged both people into it, and maybe it actually destroyed some trust here in some way. Or maybe because the person wasn't honest and truthful and it was never expressed, that actually they couldn't go on living without being authentic within this connection, so they had to put a stop and almost isolated themselves, plunged themselves almost in this darkness. So there's a few different scenarios here that I'm feeling, but there might have even been, there was that need to release something that was potentially destructive to this connection. So to be honest, to be open and honest about feelings, and potentially it was one person that was feeling this connection growing, maybe towards potentially something different, in towards love, maybe into a romantic connection, because I feel like there was this friendship and this feeling of, there's this almost like childlike play here with this childhood card. There's this, I think there was just this this nourishing energy, but this ability to be goofy and silly and truthfully yourselves in so many ways. And I feel like you almost shared a lot of childhood secrets, as if you were like childhood best friends. And maybe you guys were actually childhood best friends. Maybe you guys opened your hearts in that way to one another. And with the nymph, the warrior, and the spirit of cups, I feel like potentially there's even this growth through emotional maturity. Like, as in, I think you almost grew up emotionally together. So potentially this was like a connection born out from maybe when you were teenagers, or even before that point. So you had like the nymph of cups, that like childlike energy towards each other, that sense of play, like almost like creating imaginary worlds, or imagining maybe what even love was like in some way, and this ability to meditate on what you want, reflect, and there's just all that joy. It's almost like 3 stages with this 3 of cups. So maybe it was like 3 decades, maybe it was 3 years, maybe 3 months, whatever, or like 3 years of uni, or 3 facets of life, very distinct. Like maybe that resonates with people, maybe it doesn't, but I feel like there was then this like direction almost in maybe other people finding love in different ways, maybe going down different paths, or maybe even opening love up to one another. Maybe someone was quite, because the way that they're holding the cups as well, I think is almost really interesting. So in the nymph, it's like holding it quite close, but there's almost this, I'll almost let you see it sort of thing. So almost that innocence, that playfulness, but I'm kind of keeping my cards close to my chest, and then there's this Warrior of Cups of this offering, of this directing the cup outwards to almost, it's like an olive branch, almost extend their love to someone else. And that kind of warrior is there because that's a massive feat to open yourself up in that way, and whether it was you or them, or maybe both. Maybe it happened at different times. Maybe one person was ready for something more, one person wasn't, and then it flipped. And then with this Spirit of Cups, it feels like that pouring in towards yourself, into your own cup. But it's like a massive cup. Like that's what I'm seeing at the moment, and I feel like this has gone through swings and roundabouts, this relationship, in some way. Like that kind of, where are we? Where are we on this map? This kind of unsaid thing potentially. Like, I feel like you guys could still be friends. Maybe you're in the same friendship group, or maybe you have to celebrate a lot together. Maybe you see each other around birthdays, or you're those kind of friends that don't see each other for a while and then suddenly do, and it's great that like you feel like you're thrown straight back into it and you make each other feel like yourselves. Or maybe you connect to that childhood authenticity. Maybe you even like used to be in the same club, or you have the same like hobbies as one another, something like that. But I think that may have come to a stop at the moment, and maybe this person has all these feelings about maybe what wasn't said, what wasn't done, whether they were too slow, whether they were too cautious. I feel like there's definitely thoughts that of the lack of communication, and maybe the freeness that one person was able to have and the chains that someone else was wearing. And with that sadness, that cloud, I feel like both people are hurting in this. Whether it was you that extended potentially love to someone, or them to you, or whether it wasn't said, or like it may be different for other people. But with this Destroyer card here, like releasing what is potentially destructive. If something was released and it was almost making the way for something new, maybe it felt like a shattering, like it's exploded out, but it's caused destruction along the way. It's destroyed what was there before, and it can be hard to rebuild after that point. It may take time, or potentially something that was bubbling under the surface for so long that was never released, that maybe that tension's still building and that new life hasn't come forth yet, because you can't support growth almost on this like shuddering earth, on this tension that is happening underneath the surface. And I feel like one person feels like they're standing with loads of different opposing wills, desires coming at them. So maybe it feels like a very like, if this is within a friendship group, maybe there's a lot of words that are said, or a lot of thoughts that other people have towards this connection, or maybe a lot of people just have a view on it, because they're like, oh, you know, you guys have known each other for years, or this childhood thing, or, you know, you've seen every side of each other, like, why isn't this happening, or why would you want this to happen? And I feel like there's this pain in almost this active waiting of, maybe you've waited a long time for this person to reciprocate, or you've waited a long time to hear what it is that they want to say. Maybe they've had conversations with you where they've been like, I really want to talk to you about something, and that's never happened. Or this may not resonate with everyone, I'm well aware, but I feel like this is very specific to some people. But there's that Three of Wands, maybe that hope that something is coming, that almost actively waiting for, and maybe that's how they feel, is that they're actively waiting for maybe you to come forward. Maybe they feel that that's how you feel, that you're overwhelmed by other people's opinions about this, and they know you well enough, they've seen you well enough, maybe they've seen you go through love in different ways, or loving other people, and they know you by now. Maybe it's one of those really annoying connections where you are both so alike, or they can just read you intuitively. But with this Destroyer as well, there's almost this feeling that maybe if something was released out there, that I'm hearing that there's fear of like ruining a friendship or ruining a connection for speaking truth, for saying how you really feel. And maybe that's the tension that is going under the surface. And maybe that's coming from you or from them. That if they let this out and it's just washed over or it's not reciprocated, like where does that go from there? And like, will I lose a friend? And there's all these conversations, and I think that's creating more of a cloud of sadness. And it's almost like stopping themselves, starting, and it could be you. So sorry if I'm saying themselves, like you or them. But I feel like they just don't know which way they should play it, whether they should keep their almost emotions to themselves or, you know, be a supporter of your emotions and your dreams. Maybe they feel like, or you feel like you're going to hold them back in some way. And or maybe you feel like if you do direct and it does work, and that I think there's just there's all this doubt swimming. And actually this is I think it's because it's such a deep connection in the way. So I think both people have almost like, maybe one person feels thrown into this space because they're not getting the truth from this person, or maybe it feels like both people have plunged themselves into this hermit mode away from it because they can't listen to what everyone else is saying socially about you two, or giving their thoughts and opinions all the time. Like they have to find their own truth, their own light, and actually find how they are actually feeling about this situation. And like I said, that could be you too. But it feels like it's glaringly obvious that something is being stolen, like thoughts are being stolen from this relationship. Like the thoughts are clouding it and almost getting in the way. And that can be painful, especially if it's people, and with this Three of Cups, like people that you want to be surrounded by and with, that make you feel like yourself, and maybe this person is that person. And I think there's such innocent feelings here with this childhood card as well. Like it is pure, it is honest, and like romantic love can be born out of friendship as well. Like you can be friends and then it can evolve, and maybe that's how one person feels, or maybe that's how both people feel, but you're both scared potentially. I want to get some channeled messages just to get some more clarity as well. I'm not going to shuffle these, I'm just going to move these around like this and flick through. So my life would suck without you. So yeah, there's just this feeling of not wanting to screw it up, not wanting to destroy something, but this tension is potentially already destroying it, if you catch my drift. Like the tension that's between, because of the things that are unsaid, and because you're not being almost authentic as you usually are. It's like the other person can tell what's up. The other person knows you. And maybe that's super, super annoying, or maybe other way around. Maybe you know exactly how they're feeling, or you know that something's not right. Because there is this kind of, this unspoken thing, this innocence here, that you're able to read each other really well. You give me butterflies, which is again so innocent, so joyful. You give me this freedom, but butterflies I feel like are a symbol for freedom and flight, but also there's that childhood, that cocoon, that you've almost given me wings, that you've helped support me and nurture me, but also that feeling in your stomach, that gut, that flutter. When I see you, I light up. And it's almost like if they are in this hermit mode and they almost see you, or they connect with you in some way, it's like they burn brighter, that they feel more themselves and that positivity. But again, I think there's just that fear of not having you if they express something, or if you do, or if this thing that maybe it's even this, maybe if you're the ones with these feelings and you're the one that feels like you're holding back something, maybe they're worried that it's something else. maybe they don't know that it's these feelings, and maybe they just know that something's not right, and they're just hoping that it's not the worst of the situation. I've never felt like this about anyone before, and obviously these are their thoughts about you, and you know, all of these things. I think there's just such a great friendship here, this great solid connection, like you are almost each other's foundations in some way. And you know, maybe if you guys are in a relationship, maybe there's not really I don't read this as much, but for the people that maybe are in a relationship with this person or are at the early stages, maybe it's just coming out of this feeling of you know, being able to be more truthful and honest about your feelings, especially if you've known each other for ages. Like, it's almost retraining yourself to see each other in a new way, potentially. And lastly, we've got two stuck together. I love how ambitious you are, and I can be myself around you. I love those. And again, authenticity, authentic selves is what's coming to my mind, that you're able to just be goofy and childish and show every spectrum of your emotion and be pure and honest about where you've come. And there's no one better when you don't have any fears or worries about what you're going to say, what you're going to do that's going to cause, like, you just know each other. I feel like it's just, you just completely understand each other's flows, each other's emotions, like, and can see it. So this Seven of Swords, this tension that's building, or potentially was built, depending on where you are, the other person can almost tell. You're like, they can see it's happening. It's like they know you well enough now, or you know them well enough to be able to see what it is. That person may just be worried about what it is, because maybe they don't know the full extent, or maybe they've got an idea of it, but there can be that doubt in their mind of, oh, maybe it's just that they don't want to see me. Maybe it's that they don't want to be my friend anymore. Maybe they've got something else that's going on that I can't help them with, and they don't want to confide in me, or whatever it is. Like, you can ramble, you can talk yourself into stories of things that are happening, and maybe this is just what's happening with this person. But there's almost this tension that's building, which can't really be repressed for much longer, is what Spirit's saying. Like, you can't hide, they can't, or you can't hide from the emotions, the feelings that you're having. They're there for a reason. And ultimately it's because this is a strong connection, that there's this safety, there's this familiarity there, and there's this love. There's this deep love in whichever way, whether it's romantic or childhood or friendship. So I'm going to get some songs as well for you guys. And again, it may be the artist, maybe the lyrics, it may be the title. We've got Kiss Me, Sixpence None the Richer. And I mean, this makes me feel of, like, reminds, like, being young and, like, first kisses, or that innocence, or and just that feeling of just wanting someone to understand you and to connect with you in that way. And yeah, everything I wanted, Billie Eilish. So again, that feeling of you don't need to change. You're exactly who you are, and what I want. And baby, I'm a want you bread. I love that song. But yeah, just this I want, like, I'm ready. I feel like I think ready to hear what you have to say, and maybe there are these deep feelings, and maybe, like I said, maybe some people are already in relationships who are like, yeah, this confirms for me that you know, we can't hold secrets, that we've got to keep telling each other the truth, we've got to keep sharing that and allowing our truth to create new things as well. But there can of course be that fear if you haven't. And Crave You, Flight Facilities featuring Gazelle as well. So I think there is this kind of overwhelming, like, I want to be around you. I love the energy that you bring and I bring. I like who I am when I'm with you. And it's really beautiful energy. So maybe if you don't feel like they've expressed this to you, and maybe you're feeling that you want more, that you have feelings for them too, maybe your honesty, if you can almost tell it already, maybe your act of honesty and authenticity is what will bring that out of them, and they'll be able to open up. And also maybe if you feel like there's something that someone's not telling you, this person's not telling you, and you can almost read it, like, let them have their own time, but know that maybe like that volcano, that tension, like it with that destroyer, it's not as scary as, oh, it's destroying everything it's in path. It will change your relationship, but it won't knock what's been. Like, that past is still there, those foundations are still there and everything. It paves the way for something new. So I want to get some oracle cards as well for you guys. So we've got expression first. So and I think this is why I think I kept saying you and they, and obviously you know what your thoughts and feelings are about this person, but I feel like you're almost mirroring each other in a way, that maybe you're both at this will we, won't we, potentially. I don't want to say what you're feeling, or make you feel like you should be feeling a way. You feel how you feel. But we've got this expression card. You are ready to manifest your thoughts and transform them into acts of love. And I feel like this is, you're ready to be open, or maybe you're ready to express to this person, or maybe you're ready for them to do that to you. And when you have this truth and this, and you're able to be honest with other people, that in turn helps them be honest with you. But I feel like within this connection, you've never not told them a secret, potentially, is the vibe that I'm getting. So if that's not true, then that's absolutely fine. But I feel like it's almost that childhood thing of, like, childhood best friends. Like, we tell each other everything. We tell each other exactly who we're crushing on, like what our hopes and dreams are, whether we want to be an astronaut, whatever it is. And I feel like this thing between you, it's almost killing both of you, potentially, because you're so used to being the one the other person talks to, especially if there's that time away with that hermit, like not speaking to each other for a while. And maybe you just feel this overbearing, like, need to share. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you're ready to express yourself. And even if it's not the answer exactly that you're expecting, or the answer exactly that you're wanting, like, that releasing of, that telling of someone gives it less weight in your mind. And you're able to be much more freer with yourself. And speaking your truth is almost better than not. Like, the not knowing hurts, I think, 10 times more than the knowing, if it were to be something that you weren't expecting, or the thing that you didn't want to hear. That not knowing causes doubt, and that causes fear, and it almost clouds you into so much more that sadness. We've also got kindness. You are a humanitarian made of love, and you are able to share that energy with others. And I think this is the thing. You are a kind person. You are a beautiful person. They love to be around you. They love to express themselves to you. There's that Three of Cups energy, that joy, that festivity that your connection with them brings. And you are a kind human being, and be kind to yourself. Like, be kind to yourself, that you're allowed to have these feelings, you're allowed to have these thoughts, you're allowed to feel the way that you do, and you're allowed to express yourself. And again, telling someone that you love them, or you have deeper feelings for them, it's a beautiful thing to say to someone. And obviously it's hefty. You're giving your heart. It can be scary, it can be all of those things, but it can be one of the kindest things to say to someone, that you love them. And that's very pure and truthful. And, you know, you are then entrusting that with them. But I feel like you trust this person. that even if it wasn't the answer that you expected, and obviously you may not, but I think this is also, if they were to do this to you, if they were to say this or give themselves to you in this way, like, you would be kind with their heart, and you know this connection. So, you know, if you're not feeling it, then that's absolutely fine. We've got also elevation. You are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. And I think with this elevation card, it's stepping away from fear, because where love is present, fear can't live. And it's almost elevating above the fear, elevating above the doubt and the anxiety and all of those things, those words and those thoughts that can scream at us, and reconnecting to your truth, to your center, to your heart, and saying, how do I raise this? How do I give myself? How do I express myself? How do I express my love and allow that to be the thing that motivates me and moves me? How do I elevate into that vibration? How do I align with that? And that's through being kind, that's through being happy, that's through sharing and being truthful, and not allowing like secrets or manipulation or anything to almost stand in the way of that, to stand in the way of your connections. And if you feel like there is almost something that's manipulating a situation or a relationship or a connection, and it doesn't have to be this one, it could be anything, like, talk it out, speak about it, identify it, and say, what is this? Why is this? Why are we being weird? This isn't us. And even if it's something simple as that, like elevating away from, I'm not going to allow the doubt and the fear to fog me at this time. I know this person, and I know our connection up until this point. Okay, something may have changed, but let's salvage this. Let's talk about this. Let's work through this, because we're not these people. This is fear or doubt or whatever it is that's talking at the moment. And that's a conscious choice, is to be kind in that way, but kind to yourself in order to give yourself that power to do that, to push through. So, my glorious friends of pile 3, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. And like I said, I feel like I've gone between potentially feelings of you and feelings of them, and like I said, it may not be your feelings, or maybe this was much more of a mirror, a reading for you about how you feel about them, and hope maybe that's helped you through this, or maybe it's given, maybe you're able just to attack it from a different way, or maybe if it's the other way around and it's their feelings for you, maybe it's given you some indication of hopefully how to navigate that, if you are feeling it or if you're not feeling it. But my glorious friends of pile 3, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I've really loved reading your cards today. Thank you for trusting me in doing that. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Sending so much love. Bye.